everybody, and welcome back to Mother Knows Best, your favorite mother-daughter podcast with a very large emphasis on the mother.
Yes.
Mom, what's going on? A lot's going on with you.
A lot's going on, yes. What's going on?
You are, by the time this airs, we're obviously taping a few days in advance, you'll be living in the office.
I know, I'm so excited.
Surviving Barstool.
Yeah. I'm excited about all the competitions and things. I'm not necessarily excited about sleeping and then being the oldest person waking up in the morning with all these young people.
You're the oldest person no matter what it was. I mean, you're just the oldest.
Yeah, but when I wake up, it's not as cute as when you all wake up.
Yeah,
Let me just say.
You lose the elasticity in your face, right? Isn't that what aging is, right?
Yeah. Also, you just kind of look like, shit in the mornings. When you're young, you always look great. You just wake up and look just like you do now. I wake up and I kind of have bags under my eyes. My eyes are bright red.
No, you're going to be cute though because you got your pajamas. We're really we can tell everybody our game plan now because this is Wednesday. So you're really going to be leaning into the mom mode. You're going to have your bed here. You've got your bedding. Mm-hmm. Like you don't care. You're going to be prepared. Mm-hmm. You've got your pajamas, your rollers. You're going to have your coffee in the morning.
Yep.
You are a 58-year-old woman living in the Barstool office.
That's right. I should be able to bring whatever I want.
And you will.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes. I need all the help I can get. It's not cheating when I do it.
It's absolutely not. If you're not cheating, you're not trying. My volleyball coach used to tell me that.
What?
Yeah, I mean, he was joking, but.
If you're not cheating, well, you can't even cheat in volleyball, so whatever.
You can cheat here and call it effort.
It is effort. It's not cheating.
No, you're just being prepared. It's not cheating.
Yeah.
Okay, before we get into the boomer move and rough and rowdy, let's pause for a Mamitas ad.
Okay.
Mom, what are the Mamitas flavors?
They are lime, paloma, pineapple, and mango.
With
tequila sunrise and spicy margarita.
Those are the summer flavors. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you what, if you get yourself an 8-pack of Mamitas, lucky you, because every single flavor is so good. They are 95 calories. Less than 1.5 grams of sugar, naturally gluten-free, made with real tequila. They are the seltzer of the summer, and they are so good. You should bring some with you while you live in the office.
Oh, I should. And well, they're here anyway. And also, you can use them to make cocktails.
Where can you get them?
You can get them at Jewel-Osco, Publix, Target, Walmart. Order them on GoPuff, and drinkmamitas.com has a store locator.
We will link the store locator so you can pick up an 8-pack near you and celebrate what's left of summer. And just the rest of your life.
Celebrate big the rest of summer.
Celebrate big. Do a shotgun a Mamitas.
Yeah, try it.
I'm kind of wearing a Mamitas shirt.
Yeah, you
Do you know what happened?
Hey, I've got on. I am definitely in summer mode with my gingham.
You gingham girl. That is
gingham. Yeah.
So Oklahoma of you to wear that, and it's so cute.
I bought it here.
Well, they sell the same clothes here that they sell there.
No. I would have never been able to find this at home.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder and the chooser.
Oh, whatever.
No, that's not a bad.
No, I get that, but that has nothing to do with my dress. It's cute.
I said I like your dress. I think you look adorable. It's one of my favorite outfits.
Well, when Joey was trying to determine if I was gay or straight, that was one of the questions.
Joey hosts Out and About podcast here. He's gay.
He's gay, and
he was seeing if you were gay or straight. What are you?
I think I was the only straight person in the office.
Oh, good for you.
No, I don't think that was a good thing. I think it was yeah.
I don't get it.
I didn't either, so it's okay. I'm glad you didn't get it. That's your millennial move. I don't know.
I don't think anybody's going to get it that's listening. What do you mean?
I don't know what I mean. He was just like, you're the only one that actually came off as really straight.
Well, what were some of the questions? What's the gay test?
You did it too, didn't you?
No, what is it?
Oh, the gay test was like, well, first of all, do you own anything that's gingham? Yes, you do. Do you walk fast? Do you walk slow? What are some of the other questions he asked me? Oh, do I use a 2-in-1 shampoo?
Do you?
No.
Of course not. You would never. What's your boomer move of the week?
Well, my boomer move of the week is my not boomer move of the week last week. It turns out that plus sign on there that everyone knows about in the top right-hand corner.
On Instagram.
When you post a story, and I said mine disappeared, and I never knew you were supposed to swipe right. Mm-hmm. Is still there. So when one of Alex's millennial friends sent a text saying it's still on her phone. So you can go to the top and push plus. And so one of the guys in here that works at Barstool told me that Apple only targets certain people at a time. So they change features for people in groups. They don't do it just everywhere.
Oh.
So that's why my phone doesn't have it and some other people's still do.
That would be confusing.
Very confusing.
I think your other boomer move is today you're interviewing PFT.
And I can't, yeah.
and you don't know what bonk is. I mean, you don't know a lot of these. Like today's interview, you're seriously going to
lost.
Well, I think one thing that'll be helpful is I know you have your questions prepared in advance, but you're going to have to seriously listen to his answers. You're going to have to be an active listener, interviewer.
Okay.
Because you're really going to need to hear the answer. Like, you don't know what bonk is, and you're going to have to ask them.
Okay.
Dear Twitter, they love to say bonk.
Well, all Twitter people like to say donk?
Bonk.
Bonk. I mean, all people like to say bonk?
Not all, but most.
I mean, all Twitter people like to say bonk.
There's a lot of them.
Oh, okay. You know what it means then.
What?
I like a good bonk.
Yeah, a lot
I'm
of people.
A
lot of people like a good bonk.
I do love bonk.
Bonk's good. You got to ask him what bonk means. I can't wait to hear the answer.
I have a lot of questions for him that I don't know what they mean, which I think probably a lot of people who follow him know what it means. So I hope they don't go, well, I already knew that.
What's going on that laptop? Something riveting?
It's riveting.
Tell me about it.
I was looking at his questions.
Right now?
Yeah.
It's good.
I'm focused. I'm focused.
You want to read some of them?
No, I don't. Okay, tell me about Rough and Rowdy.
It's good. My opponent actually is DMing me a lot.
Well, what's she saying?
She's like, "Hi, love. I'm your opponent." And I'm like,
stop.
I didn't read it, or I didn't respond to it. And
just give it to Graham to read.
One of my friends, Caroline, posted a graphic of me and her. I don't even know where she got the graphic. It's a Rough and Rowdy graphic, but I never posted it. I don't know where she got it. Maybe the website.
Uh-huh.
So I reposted it, and Ashley Cupcake, my opponent, DM me was like, "Hi, hun, can you send me those graphics?" I'm like, Ashley, I'm going to have to hit you physically in a ring. We cannot be friends. Like, it's so sweet that she's being so nice. But I'm like, I know. So I told Leo, my boxing coach, that she keeps DMing. He's like, "No, we will not be responding." And I was like, okay. Like, I have one in there, and I could see her saying, "Let's give him a and I think she's saying, "Let's give him a show." But I'm just going to have to leave it in the DMs.
Oh, my gosh. That's really hard. But obviously, okay, she's from West Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe they go around kicking each other's asses, and it's not a big deal to kick a friend's ass. Like when you talk to Ebony, she's like, "Oh, yeah, I'll kick your ass if you're my friend.
Yeah,
just piss me off and I'll kick your ass." So, but for us, like if you're my friend, I wouldn't even slap you.
No, I know it's hard to physically hit somebody. So I don't know. It doesn't bother me. My mentality's getting better. Like I'm getting less scared.
Maybe you should hit me and it would feel better.
No desire to hit you. I'm just going to hit her.
Okay.
Just going to hit my opponent. I actually, on Monday, this coming Monday, I'm sparring a girl that's also never fought. So I'm excited about that. Leo just told me today. So
well, wait, why is that going to be exciting?
Because usually the people I spar have fought before.
Oh, so this one's going to be kind of like the girl you're doing. She's never fought before. So you're both going to be like, what the hell, and just go.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm excited.
What time? I maybe they'll let me leave to go watch that.
Yeah, I don't know what time he's going to tell me.
Okay.
Everything in this boxing world is like the moment before.
Well, that's good because you don't have to think about it too much.
Yeah, no, it's really good. It's been the best thing for me. I'm actually really sad thinking about it ending.
Really?
Yeah. So it's been a fun adventure because I'm so uncomfortable. I've never been more uncomfortable in my life, and I love that.
You know what I was thinking about, and this is so dumb, probably, but the first time I was pregnant, I remember thinking, "Oh my God, what have I gotten myself into? There's no way out of this. There's no way out of this but to go through this pain of having this kid." Like,
oh, wow.
And it's kind of like you just you go, I have to go through it.
Well, yeah.
I was thinking like now that you have, no, seriously, I know. That's why I was like, I wonder if anyone else ever thought that, like, oh my God, I got myself pregnant and now I have to have a baby.
I bet people have thought that.
Like you go, I have to go through labor. That's pretty scary. And people kept telling me terrible stories and I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. So
that's a really good parallel, actually. I bet that would be really scary to be
like, so like you have to go fight this girl, even if the last minute you don't want to, you have to.
Definitely. That's the best part of it.
So this is going to make labor so easy.
They say once you do this, you can do anything.
That's good.
I know. So I do feel that, though. I'm excited.
Yeah.
BuyRNR.com. When this comes out, will be like 1 week away.
Yeah. I wish we knew what the numbers were so we knew where we were headed.
They say like 90% of the sales are like that
day. Well, you got to put a lot of links out there for people like my age to go, I don't even know how to buy it.
It'll be everywhere. BuyRNR.com.
And then you go there and you buy it and you watch it where?
I think on there. They'll send you a link or something. It's
like on your computer?
It's so stupid proof.
Okay, that's good.
So it's like, I think the most stupid proof link in the world. It's for millennials, boomers, 90-year-olds, anyone. I guarantee you Granny could buy this link.
I don't think so, but Peepaw will buy it and watch it. My dad.
But they're all buying it. They just don't have to watch it.
Well, you better send him a link, and he'll be. You know how he does his group text of 50 people.
My grandpa has a senior move, which is political text messages to 19 people.
27
people, and they're just politics.
Yes, and I say it's okay if he sends the Bible verse of the day, but when he does politics, I'm like, no group politics text. Okay, I'm sorry, and then he does it again.
2 or 3 a day.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
I only on the one with one, but I think he probably knows. He gets mad at me.
I'm in like a ton of chains.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, I don't mind one bit. I think it's so sweet and endearing.
Okay. Go people.
yeah. Hi, people. He's probably listening to this. Okay, Mom. I'm so excited for you to interview PFT. I know you're going to wear your sunglasses, which I think is going to be hilarious.
Yes, I'm going to wear my shades.
Wear your shades and have such a good interview. I'm so proud of you. This Mother Knows Best is such a hit.
Oh, we should play the song "I Wear My Sunglasses at Night." You probably don't even know it.
I don't think
I do know it.
You do know it?
Yeah.
I wear my sunglasses at night. Do, 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 do. So I can see. I don't know what it says.
That was beautiful.
That's fine. We'd probably get fined anyway. With anything more than that.
True. That's true. That would be illegal to put it on
I
there.
kind of think he died of a heart attack, but I did like him.
Oh.
Brian something, I think.
Rest in peace, Brian.
Yeah.
Rip Brian.
Rip Brian, man. Poor guy.
Well, it was an iconic video because he was
Why?
standing in the front, but this was like right when MTV started.
Okay.
He had his sunglasses on. He's singing, and all the girls behind him were singing with glasses on. They were all really cute.
Oh, and people hadn't seen that before.
No, we hadn't seen it like all the very beginning. Like I remember when MTV came online. Like,
So it's not Brian.
Yeah.
There's the boomer move.
Back
It's
when
Corey
Brian
Hart.
like when MTV first came out, I was young.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I remember the first time it was on, and especially because it was on 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
We didn't have a lot of 24-hour a day stuff on.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So
Yeah.
it was cool because it was the music video and it was on 24
And we got to watch
hours.
music videos. It was huge.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Brian and MTV for
Corey.
the win.
Yeah.
Corey
Did
Hart.
you guys ever watch the the Michael Jackson fun scary one?
Thriller.
Yeah, the Thriller video.
That one is the eye.
It actually scared me when it was out. Like we would be glued to that. We watched it about a million times.
I think if we watched that, how old are you, Coleman?
22.
22.
you'd be like, it's
29.
so corny.
No, we've watched it.
I've seen it.
Do you
yeah.
think it's corny?
No, it's good.
He
Especially
was
for its time. It was
so
amazing.
good. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Thriller must have been that iconic of a music video if we have seen it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was. Most of his dancing was just off the
He was
charts.
unbelievable.
So was his singing and everything. I hate that you know anything personal about a lot of people. Like even politicians now, like Reagan, I loved him. I would hate to have heard any of his deep, dark secrets. I liked not knowing them.
I do think, yeah.
Because then because then he's an iconic man. Like, I don't know, maybe he really was, but who knows?
Yeah.
I don't think anybody is really.
That's true. Don't meet your heroes. Don't know too much about them, kind of thing. Like, let them
Well, I do
be.
want to, I would have loved to have meet him.
But what if he was having a bad day and was highly standoffish? Would it have ruined him for you forever?
No, I still would have just been like,
I love
now
you.
his wife, on the other hand, I never wanted to really meet.
Who was she married to? Or what was her name? I mean,
Her name was Nancy.
Nancy
She-
Reagan.
Nancy Reagan.
Did we like her?
Well, she pretty much ruled the roost. She probably told him to be president. I don't know. I think she was like, and I think she's a little different because she was so in love with him, and they wrote love letters all the time. But she like protected her relationship with him so much that she alienated her kids almost, and I thought that was weird.
That is weird. You're not for that.
Not for that.
Behind every great man is a what?
Powerful woman,
Strong woman. Yeah.
strong woman.
Maybe that was her. Maybe that was Nancy.
All 90 pounds of her. Yes,
She's a tiny girl.
tiny girl.
Okay, Mom, let's jump into the interview because
Here we
he's
go.
going to be fabulous.
Okay.
So put those shades on.
I'm ready.
Go get them.
Let's go.
Welcome to the show, PFT.
Hello, PFT. Thank you for coming on.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Okay, so I don't know, probably people that are watching are familiar with you, but I'm going to start with like they are not.
Okay.
Okay, so tell us about the sunglasses.
Okay. So I'm wearing the sunglasses now. You guys can pick and choose like whatever makes you more comfortable. That I'm going to adapt. I'm going to be like water, like Bruce Lee said. So if you want me to not wear sunglasses, if you're more comfortable looking me eye to eye, I'm now free to go like this now, which is nice because for the longest time I just kept the sunglasses on. And the story was, so I never wanted to be on camera. That was never my plan. In fact, I tried to stay off camera as much as I could. So when I started doing the podcast, I was coming into Barstool. I was more of a blogger. I was a writer. That's still what I think that I'm the best at. If you like put a gun to my head, but I I wanted to stay anonymous because I played a character online that was like a dumbass internet commenter. And I thought the joke was funnier if I didn't have my face to it, it was just like up to your imagination as a reader. So I wanted to stay off camera. Even after we started the podcast, I was like, I'll stay off camera. And then I realized that it's going to be impossible to be off camera here. And so I was like, I'll just kind of stay anonymous a little bit by putting the sunglasses on. And then, you know, we started to grow so much as a company, and there are people walking around all the time with cameras, you know, like, you know, you hand out cookies here at work and there's somebody that's like over your shoulder with a phone. And it became a pain in the ass for everybody else at the company to have to like shoot around me, which is not something I ever wanted to put on them. So I was like, you know what? Not only am I kind of sick of wearing the sunglasses all the time, but it's also an imposition on other people. So I'm going to take them off part-time and kind of see where that goes. And I've also found that if I'm interviewing somebody that I don't really know that well, it can be a blocker. Like if they don't know that entire long backstory that I just told you, then they get put in a room with me and they're like, why is this asshole wearing sunglasses? So sometimes it's just easier to be able to make eye contact and have a better conversation with people. So I'm also glad that I can watch football now and I don't have to worry about the polarized sunglasses being blacked out on the TV, you know, not being able to watch the top television. So it's been good. I'm very happy with how it's going.
I think it is important to see people's eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you want me to take these off?
Let's take them off now.
Okay. There we go.
There you go.
That's
See?
nice.
Oh.
Yeah.
And you actually have pretty eyes, so I don't know why you did that.
Thank you. A lot of people say that I've got freak eyes. They say that my eyes are freaky, but
I saw that and I kept thinking, well, I wonder why they say that. And I mean, they're just being mean.
well, they are being mean, and shame on them.
Yes.
But before I decided to take them off, we talked about doing the live stream where I was going to take the sunglasses off if it got to a certain number, and I started being like, everyone's saying that I probably have freak eyes out there. And they say that my eyes are freaky. And so then Big Cat started saying I have freak eyes. And actually, there's more Hank on that one saying I had freak eyes. And then I would just be like, no, they're perfectly normal. But I do understand that since I had been wearing the sunglasses for so long, when I took them off, everyone's like, oh, holy shit, your eyes are gross. It's like, no, I think I've got like pretty normal eyes, I would say.
Yeah, no, you have great eyes. They're
Thank you.
pretty blue-green.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Do you go blue or green?
I'd go back and forth.
Go back and forth. Put
Yeah.
green on, they turn kind of green. If you put blue on.
It's like a mood ring.
Yeah.
Yeah. When I'm hungry, they turn blue.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that.
Mhm.
Okay, so what you're drinking is a spicy watermelon lemonade with vodka.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Cheers.
I gave you a straw because I thought you like to drink straw out of.
I give off vibes like I have no problem killing turtles. Is that what you're saying?
I don't get that.
Well, that's why you don't serve straws anymore.
Oh
Because the
God!
turtles
But guess what? That's a washable straw.
Okay, yes, this is reusable. This is kind of nice, actually.
Yeah.
This is delicious.
Do you like it?
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite cocktail?
I like a bourbon.
Oh, I wish I'd known that.
I like pouring bourbon.
Oh my God! I could have put bourbon in there and it would have been really
That'd be
good.
too. I like a bourbon. I like Manhattan, really. That's my go-to.
Oh, it is.
I like a nice Manhattan, maybe a rye whiskey in the Manhattan.
Yeah.
Somebody accidentally served me an old fashioned last week when I ordered a Manhattan. I was like, well, I don't care. It's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty easygoing guy. I'll drink whatever you serve to me for the most part.
I don't like bourbons and stuff. I didn't think I did. And my husband drinks Crown and Coke, whatever. But now he's gone to this, to vodka. But I made some cocktails early on and I really liked them with bourbon. And I don't get the difference between bourbon and whiskey. There's a big difference, I guess. But
yeah, proper bourbon comes from Brooklyn. That's the difference. So
really?
No.
No, you're kidding. No, it comes from Kentucky.
Kentucky. It has to come from Kentucky.
But where does whiskey come from?
Whiskey can come from anywhere. Whiskey comes from the gods. Whiskey can be it can be Scottish whiskey, it could be Irish whiskey.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
It could be Tennessee whiskey, which is Jack Daniels.
Oh yeah, a lot of people
Jack
drink
Daniels is not bourbon. People forget that.
It's a whiskey.
It's a Tennessee whiskey, but because it's not from Kentucky, then it can't be called a bourbon, even though it basically is a bourbon. It's very similar.
It's very confusing.
It's
almost like wine.
I just like drinking stuff that tastes good.
Yeah.
I used to drink Mad Dog. I was afraid that you would have a Mad Dog.
No. When you said that, I was like, there was something Mad Dog is, you say it's like a wine?
It's a fortified wine. It's very strong. It's potent. I had to stop drinking it though, because it made me break out in a rash.
It probably had so many preservatives or something. What do you mean?
Yeah, I don't know. That's the level of health and nutrition that I pay attention to.
Uh-huh.
I'll stop doing something if I break out in a rash. And so Mad Dog crossed that threshold. So now I no longer drink it.
I think that's probably a good way to go though. Yeah, instead of thinking, oh, I have a gluten allergy, so I'm not going to. And if you don't feel bad, just eat it.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I don't really, I have a very prominent line that I follow, and that's if you actually get a rash from something, then don't do that thing again. So that's my line in the sand that I draw.
Well, that means I can eat everything because I don't ever get a rash from anything.
There you go.
Yeah. Okay, so
Perfect.
I brought you 3 things.
Okay.
This one is I'm going to try to do this. That's a chocolate kind of croissant.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other one is savory. So it has jalapeno in it
Okay.
too. I didn't know which way you wanted to go with this because I was kind of like, sweet may not be good.
I'm going to go with the jalapeno one.
Okay. I can't wait to see what that
I like
tastes
that
like.
you brought a little knife here for me. Like I'm going to actually cut this up and not
Well,
just eat it with my hands.
I didn't know. But those are things I want to eat that I can't eat because they do make me feel kind of bad. But I'm like, oh my gosh. And this bakery's supposed to be really good. It's around the corner.
Mm.
Mazadar.
That's very good.
Is it good?
It reminds me of a kolache. Do you know what kolaches are?
No.
They might be a Texas thing. So
Oh, they are. What
Yeah.
are they?
you've probably have you ever driven down from like Dallas towards Austin?
Mm-hmm.
There's a really great kolache place on the side of the road there. It's like an hour outside of Dallas, I think. And it's like a pastry like this, and it's got sometimes stuffed with things. Sometimes it's almost like a Danish where it's fruit. Just fantastic. I think it's a Czech thing, like
Okay.
Czechoslovakia.
It's like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Does that one have like a hot dog in it?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It looks a little like a pig in a blanket, but
Mhm.
I was assuming the ones on the
Yeah.
other side.
Yeah, they can have hot dogs in there. They can have
But are they
sausage.
usually wrapped around like that or round like this?
Not necessarily. They can be round, like
Like that?
like that, exactly.
Okay.
So I'm not sure why kolaches haven't caught on
Yeah.
a nationwide level, but they're delicious. They're some of my favorite foods.
But I wonder if they're like, who made them up? I mean, did they come from like an origin of like a croissant from Paris?
Yeah, Czechoslovakia.
Yeah. It's
Oh, you said that.
Republic. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
They're very, very good.
Wow.
Mm.
Anything with bread is very, very good.
I agree.
Okay, so you just tweeted something, and it was what I don't know what the word means. What
Okay.
does bonk mean?
It means that somebody's being horny.
Oh,
So when someone's being horny, you bonk them and go bonk, and it's supposed to make you not be horny anymore.
so what you tweeted self bonk?
Yeah, I had to bonk myself because I was looking at a list of names of fullbacks, and the names are very fullbacky.
Oh,
So
okay.
I was getting hot and bothered over thinking about football.
I
And
saw
so-
the names had 2 people from Oklahoma,
Yeah.
one
there's-
from OU and one from OSU.
There's a lot of great names on there. I think my favorite was a guy named Case Hatch from Arizona State.
Yeah.
Like that's so perfect. Like
Oh,
the Hatch
boy.
chili pepper.
Oh yeah,
It's perfect.
That's
So
epic.
but are they up and coming ones? I didn't understand that.
yeah, they're up and coming
Okay.
fullbacks.
That's why they said redshirt senior.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Yes. There was a guy at Oklahoma last year, Jeremiah Hall.
Uh-huh.
He almost won the Low Man Trophy, which is the award that Part of My Take gives to fullbacks, the best fullback. In
It's
NCAA
the low
football.
man?
The low man, as opposed to the Heisman Trophy.
Oh,
The low man, because low man wins in football. So if you're blocking somebody,
Mhm.
usually the person that's lower in the block is the one that's going to be able to move the other person off the ball.
So you said he almost won it.
He almost won.
Who won it?
He was in the top 4. Last year, the low man trophy winner was Chenal from Wisconsin.
Okay, I don't know that name.
Yeah.
Okay, so talking about football, you know a lot more about football than baseball, right?
Yeah, I'm a bit of a seam head, though. I have a pretty successful fantasy team right now.
I saw that, and
In
didn't know
baseball?
what seam head meant, but now I think it means the seam in the ball
Yes.
in the baseball. Okay,
Yes,
I was
yes.
going to ask you what seam head was. That's
No,
what that is.
I do know more about football, but let's not discount the excellent fantasy season I'm having right now.
Is that because you did your blog? You said, were you doing that so you would know more about baseball?
Yeah, just so it gave me a reason to follow the sport. And actually, this is the exact time of year that I usually just tune out of baseball entirely because football starts up again.
Uh-huh.
Even though it's like the preseason, it's still something that I care more about.
Yeah.
But if I have a fantasy team, then I'm going to be following, I hope, baseball a little bit closer than I do in the past, especially in the month of August. So
But all the guys around my desk were saying it's really hard because it's like not just Thursday to Sunday football games. It's like all day, all week with more players.
yeah.
Like you have to know all their names and really get into it.
Yeah, sometimes I go like 4 or 5 days, forget to check, forget to update my. Actually, last year it was funny because I completely forgot about my fantasy team,
Uh-huh.
and I don't think I changed the lineup July and August. And then at the end of August, Hank asked me how my fantasy team was doing. I was like, "Good question, Hank." So I pulled up my phone, And it's a bad situation where you hit the icon and it has to re-download the app entirely.
Yeah, that's not good.
And but I finished in second place last year. I almost won the championship.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
Yeah, so we're aiming for we've got revenge on our minds.
So now you're going to try hard and see how it works.
Yeah, well, again, like I still do forget just because baseball is very boring this time of year. But I'm doing better than last year.
Yeah, I think baseball's kind of boring. I wish I could follow it, but it's sort of boring to watch.
Yeah, I mean, it's Vince Scully was famous for a reason because he was so good at talking during baseball games that he would even make watching baseball on TV very exciting.
Do they have anyone like that now?
Who's the best right now? Tom Brenneman?
Yeah.
Let's see.
They should have people like, I love it when Peyton Manning and Eli do the football thing.
Yeah.
I love that. They should do that with baseball.
A-Rod does a simulcast, but A-Rod's not really.
No.
No one's tuning in to see A-Rod.
Poor A-Rod.
No, he's doing okay for himself.
He is.
Yes.
He after J-Lo, it wasn't all downhill.
Yeah, I think he's got a new girlfriend.
Life's okay.
Much younger.
Oh.
much younger. He's doing great mentally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. As long as he has his mental.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay. You said when you were younger, and I love this because my son watched Sports Center every morning before school from probably elementary school all the way till he left high school. That your dad would let you stay home 15 minutes longer on Mondays to watch the Sports Center plays of the week.
Yeah.
I love that. And then you were late to school on Monday mornings because of that.
I would always be late to school on Mondays. My teachers, it was like a running joke. It's like, well, he's not going to be here. And then I'd come in, they would pretend to be surprised, but it was just known that I was going to be late. And my dad didn't care either. So it was good bonding time for us.
Well, so are you still close with your dad?
Yeah. We talk a lot. Just talked to him a couple days ago. And it was definitely like a big part of my relationship with my dad growing up was whether it was watching sports on TV or going out and playing catch. He was like a really, really good athlete back in the day. So,
he was. Yeah,
he got a full ride to George Washington on baseball, basketball, and tennis.
Oh, wow, that's impressive. Wow.
Yeah, and he was like, he talked to the Pirates and the Red Sox about playing, but he had some real bad back injuries, which severely limited his career. But he was still like able to like play catch with us and teach us sports up to a certain skill set. So it was a major part of our lives. I'd say when I was hanging out with my dad when I was younger, 90% of the time it was sports adjacent.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did he go to all your games and everything that you did?
Oh, yeah.
And yelling and going and.
Oh yeah, front row at every game.
Did your mom go?
Yeah, she went to all the games.
She did.
Probably not as many as my dad, but my dad was definitely at everyone. She went to every one that she could. Definitely.
Because you played you played football.
I played football. I played soccer. I played when I was a kid. I played football, soccer, basketball, swimming, and
oh wow, you did a lot.
I did gymnastics for like 2 years, and I was like, "Mom, this sucks. Let me quit." And she was like, "Okay, you can quit." But I actually, in retrospect, I wish that I'd stuck around and done more gymnastics because if you're good at gymnastics, it helps you in everything. Other sport that you play.
Yeah, they're the strongest people.
I know. Yeah. So I really did. I peaked in middle school athletically, I like to say. And then everybody else grew. Yeah. And I stayed the same size.
But you still played all through high school, didn't you?
I played football in high school. I played soccer in high school. I was a goalie for my soccer team in high school.
Yeah.
And then in college, I wasn't good enough to play football or anything else, so I started playing rugby.
Yeah, but I always thought that they would recruit for rugby. The people that they would recruit would be the tough guy. Like, did you ever get in fights and stuff when you were in college? You weren't a fighter?
I got in like a couple fights, but it was mostly because my friends got me into fights. So I would be there and help my friends out if I got into a fight, but I wasn't really shit stir.
Yeah.
But if there was a fight going on that looked fun, I would happily engage in it.
You'd be the one that did it.
I was not really tough enough to be like, well, I'll put it this way. When I went to college and I was hanging out with some friends that I used to play football with, they're like, you should come play rugby. I was like, I'm not tough enough to play rugby. So like it was more of a challenge for myself to be able to play that sport that I didn't think that I could do. Yeah. And it was also just a great excuse to drink a lot, you know? So
yeah, I've heard that too about rugby players.
It was like a bunch of friends. It was kind of a frat, but you had like a common goal and you went to practice and all that stuff, but you also got to have parties and hang out with girls and things like that. So it was a good deal for me. Yeah.
So would you ever do Rough and Rowdy That'd be like a challenge.
That would be a challenge. In fact, I challenged Darren Ravel to Rough and Rowdy.
I don't know.
And I wanted to fight him. Please never learn who Darren Ravel
Okay,
is.
well.
You'll thank me for not knowing who he is. But he said something online like that he would fight me.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, yeah, let's go. Let's fucking go. I will fight Darren Ravel anytime, any place.
Yeah.
And then Darren asked to get paid $2 million for it.
Oh.
And Dave was like, well, you can fuck off. We're not paying you $2 million. And
that was because he was scared?
Well, he wants $2 million.
Well, but he knew he wasn't going to get it, right?
I think, honestly, he believes that he is worth $2 million.
Oh, really?
He thinks that, and in this case, he might not be wrong that me and him fighting would be worth $2 million to the company, because I think that it would actually bring in, we would like shatter pay-per-view records for Rough and Rowdy if this happened. But it's like Darren, it's not, people aren't tuning in to watch Darren fight. They'd be tuning in to watch me fight Darren. So Darren could find anybody on the street and be like, I want to fight that guy. And nobody would want to watch that. But we have a rivalry going, and I want to punch Darren in his face, and he wants to try to fight me, and I would knock him out within 20 seconds. And I would absolutely love to do it. But then Big Cat was like trying to tell me not to do it because he doesn't want to give Darren publicity. I don't give a shit about that. I will give Darren publicity if he wants. I just want the opportunity to punch him in the face anytime, anywhere.
Oh, okay.
But he won't fight me unless he gets paid $2 million.
I think he's being a chicken, but that's okay.
You said it, not me.
I said it, yeah. Okay, so I was listening to KFC interview you, and it seemed like to me the route that you went to get here, it was pretty impressive. Like all the jobs and different things that you did. Like, but I want to ask you one about the dogs. Yeah. Because I didn't quite understand that. Like they were older dogs?
What's not to understand? I was a used dog salesman.
But used dog salesman? Like abandoned dogs?
No, it's a joke that I make. It's a funnier way of saying that. Like I worked for a dog adoption agency.
Yeah, but they were all old.
Some of them were old. We had puppies too.
Oh, okay.
They were like all ages. So it went from, I think, 7 weeks all the way up to however old dogs get. I don't know. But I was the guy that would set up, I would drive up in a van, and I'd set up these big tents and like pens outside of a PetSmart or a supermarket. And then I put the blankets down, put the little shelters in there, the little kiddie pools for the dogs.
I'm picturing like the Dumb and Dumber, like the big dog mobile thing.
I wish I had that. The Shaggin' Wagon. Yeah, I wish I had one of those.
How old were you when you did this?
23.
Oh, okay.
23.
So did you have to give like a lot of good sales pitches to these people?
Oh, I got good at it.
You did?
Oh yeah, I could put you on Weimaraner in a second. Like your head would spin. You'd be walking out the door with like 3 border collies and a French bulldog.
Gosh.
Oh yeah, I was good. I was really good. My strategy, I had 2 strategies. One, well, just in general, you got to set up the place and make it look nice, make it look like it's a clean place. And my boss was such a piece of shit. I hate, like, I'm not kidding. One day he just left town because he was getting a lot of shit for not treating the dogs well and not having like good enough medicine.
Oh no.
And he just, one day we showed up to pick up, I went to the shelter to pick up my dogs for that day, and he was just gone. He just wasn't there. He had moved to Colorado. Oh. And so I knew he was a piece of shit from the second I met him because he took me out and like trained me on how to do it. From the get-go, this guy did not care about dogs at all. He saw dogs as a product, and he was trying to make money off like donations and adoption fees and stuff like that.
Oh, it was a scam.
It was well, the dogs were great, which is why I did it, and I love them, but he was a scam artist.
Yeah.
And the very first day that he was training me, he was this English guy, and he was like, watch this. And this person comes up, he's like, look at this dog right here. This dog is a fantastic dog. I'm starting to do a Kiwi accent now. I'm fucking it all up. And the person's like, oh, that's a very cute dog. He's like, yeah, we found her in a lake. Like, in a what? In a lake. Oh, this dog was in a lake. Yeah, her owner took her out on a boat and threw her overboard into the lake. And then the person's like, gosh. Oh my God, I want to adopt this dog. Like, that's a miracle that this dog's still alive.
Yeah.
And so they adopt the dog out. A couple minutes later, somebody comes up and points at another dog. Is like, oh, that's a cute little Rottweiler mix. He's like, yeah, this dog was in a lake. Yeah, its owners threw it overboard. And so he just said to everybody, like, that was his go-to story. I don't know why that makes somebody want to adopt a dog more.
Well, but the more, I think the more they're like abused, you're like, oh my God, I need to save him. I'm so sweet, I can help him.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I'm the person that, I pulled this dog out of the water, basically. Yeah, like, that's me. I did that.
So did you use those same?
No, I was relatively honest with everybody. I was, and by relative, I had a couple moves, right? I would bring my dog Leroy out, And Leroy was a big boy. He was like 175 pounds at the time.
What was he?
He was an English Mastiff.
Oh, gosh.
So like a beautiful, well, kind of like ugly, but in a beautiful way.
You're
dog.
huge, though.
Yeah, he's huge. And I would set him up in his own pen off to the side. Well, it would be like connected to everybody else's, but I would have him out there with the other dogs. And then people would see him from across the parking lot and be like, look at that gorgeous English Mastiff. I want to go over there and see if I can adopt that dog. And so then they'd come up and they'd be like, talk to me about Leroy. And they'd say, is he up for adoption? I'd be like, oh no, that's my dog. But I tell you what, here's a really beautiful golden retriever mixed with a pit bull over here that I think you'd really like. And so then I put them on a different dog, the old bait and switch.
Yeah, no, that's good.
And but my goal was like, I think I was making like $5 an hour, maybe $5.15.
I was wondering how he paid you, like by the dog or $5 an hour.
There was like, as bad as it sounds, there was a small commission fee for like whatever dog got adopted, because whenever you adopt a dog, if you're getting it for free, it's actually usually a bad sign, because that means that the person that you're adopting it from has not paid for any shots or any sort of medical treatment, and they probably don't have a great place to keep those dogs. So if there is an adoption fee, that's usually a good thing up to a certain point, unless it's like exorbitant. And ours wasn't that. Ours was like I think like $100 or something like that, so not much at all, but it was enough to like get them their shots.
Yeah, but did you really get them their shots?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I made sure that like I would not have worked there if it was just like
a complete sham.
Complete sham. But yeah, the owner, the person that ran the place, was not ethical, and I think all told I was making something like $6 an hour, but it was just fun. And I really enjoyed being around the dogs. I enjoyed getting to talk to people. Yeah. And my other move was I would pick up one of the puppies, and when somebody would drive by, I would just like give them a little puppy wave with it. They would just wave their paw, and then they would grab their chest and be like, "Oh my god, I have to pull over and come see this dog." Oh my gosh! So
did you ever end up taking one home?
No, I wanted to. I wanted to take several. I still remember my favorite dogs' names there. There was Wizard, who is a blue heeler. He was fantastic. Macy, she was a German Shepherd mix with a Border Collie. Bernard, who is a Great Pyrenees Saint Bernard mix. And then my favorite was Magic. Magic was just a complete mutt. And I actually cried when she got adopted.
Oh, you did?
She was like 8 years old, 9 years old. Oh. And I'd taken her out with me like every day for about 7 months. And nobody would take her. Nobody wanted her. She was like the longest tenured dog there. And then finally I found this awesome family that was like a perfect home for her. And she got along so well with them. She was like the sweetest dog in the world. I remember when I loaded her up in the car, I cried.
Oh my gosh.
So, because I was probably also thinking like, I'm going to have to adopt this dog if nobody else does.
Yeah.
So that was nice.
So you're a big dog lover.
I love dogs.
You love dogs. And so, do you have a dog now?
I do not. Leroy passed away a year and a half ago.
How old was he?
He was old. He was almost, I think he was 12.
That's pretty old for a Mastiff, isn't it?
Very old.
Yeah. Like his 8, they're...
It's like 6 to 10 is the general lifespan. Yeah. So he had a long, full life.
That is a long, full life.
Great Twitter as well.
Yeah, he was
what?
He broke news. He
was very Twitter.
Yes, he was on Twitter.
Oh, when he passed away, he broke Twitter.
No.
What are you saying?
He used to tweet.
Oh, he would tweet.
My dog would tweet. He was on Part of My Take. He was our breaking news dog. So if we would get scoops, we would pass those along to Leroy, and then Leroy would tweet out like Rob Gronkowski is considering coming back to play for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers after he has retired from the New England Patriots. And so Leroy would beat like all the big NFL newsbreakers like Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport. He would beat them to scoop sometimes. But it was funny because people would like be like, yo, Adam Schefter, you have to credit this dog. Yeah. This dog had better news than you did. So it was a lot of fun. And Leroy had a great life. Yeah,
I'm sure he did. Are you going to get another dog?
I think so. I think eventually.
Will you get another Mastiff?
Probably not, because I don't want to like compare that dog to Leroy.
That's true. Yeah,
I want it to be its own thing.
Yeah.
So eventually, I'll get another dog. It would help to have a yard, though. Yards are good for dogs,
especially a big dog.
Yeah. Well, you'd be surprised. Big dogs do pretty good in apartments sometimes.
They do, because I see a lot of big dogs walking, and I wonder about it.
Yeah, I mean they take up a lot of space, but they're also very lazy. So Leroy had his couch, and he would just sit on his couch almost all day. And then I'd get him up for a walk, and he would look at me like, why are you making me do this? Like I don't want to go outside. I want to stay.
He wasn't like the dog park type of dog.
He liked the dog park when he got there, but he didn't like the act of getting up off his couch and actually putting in the work. he just wanted to be transported magically
Yeah.
to the dog park and then back to his couch. He didn't like moving around that much in the meantime.
Like a lot of people feel about workout, I think.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to tweet about it. I want to tweet about working out, but I don't
want to go.
actually want to go to the gym. Yeah.
So you went from so you must be a salesman of sorts, because then you did software sales,
Yeah.
and that was a big job.
Yeah, it was. I don't know how I got that job. Like I'm looking back and trying to do the math. I sold a lot of other things too in between. I sold portable air conditioners and portable dishwashers and tankless hot water heaters. Don't ask me to explain how those work. I still don't know.
No, I do know how those work, and they're very interesting, but it'd be a hard sale.
Yeah, especially if you don't like. I'd never owned a house before. Like, how am I going to know how to assemble a tankless hot water heater? So I sold a lot of like those home appliances, and then I thought, okay, well, maybe I should sell software instead, because software costs more money than home appliances. So maybe I'll make more money.
So you were selling software to companies.
Yeah.
I mean, if it costs more, it's got to be bigger.
Yeah, business to business.
Business to business.
Yeah.
And how long did you do that?
I did that for, I think 3 years.
And how old were you when you quit?
27, I think. Wait, I quit in 2013. So, yeah, 28, 27 or 28.
I mean, that's pretty, to walk away from a salary like that, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, but it felt really good when I did it. That's how I knew it was the right choice.
Oh.
Was when I was driving away that day after
Yeah.
I quit. I was cranking tunes, windows down. I was like fist pumping to myself. And then I got home and I sat down. I was like, wait, where's my money going to come from now?
Yeah. Like Jerry Maguire, he was free falling.
Yeah, but I highly recommend, if anybody out there has ever thought about quitting a job and hasn't done it yet, like I highly recommend it. It was a rush like I've never felt before.
For quitting a job.
Oh, it was
But
awesome.
you got to have a plan. You had a little bit of a plan. What you wanted to do. You knew what you wanted to do.
Yeah, I knew what I wanted to try, but it was still like kind of scary.
Yeah.
But it felt awesome.
Okay.
It felt really good, that ride home. I still remember it. It was the best car ride of my life.
That's great. So
Yeah.
if you could bottle that, you'd make $1 million.
Yeah, it's easy. Just quit your job.
Yeah, that feeling.
Is that a good like t-shirt for Erica's podcast?
Yeah.
She has like fuck your business.
Yeah.
One that just says quit
Quit
your
your job.
job.
I think it's a great one. Yeah. Okay. So you like to write a lot,
Mhm.
and you started out just doing blogs here.
I started out doing blogs for a website called Kissing Susie Colbert.
Okay. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it's not around anymore.
Okay.
But it was a great blog. It was a very good blog back in the early 2010s.
But what were you blogging about?
Football.
Okay.
It's NFL. It's
Okay.
like NFL and NFL media.
Has it always been sports?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I did some comedy writing too back in the day, but that wasn't like online or any sort of publications. I was just trying to get like movies made.
Uh-huh.
But then once I started writing online, that was for a company called Kissing Susie Colbert, and then I started writing for SB Nation,
Which
which is another website that still exists kind of right now, but they're not great to their employees. So I never actually got a full-time offer from them to work for them. And I was like, well, time for me to find like some actual money and see if I can get hired somewhere. I've been in touch with Big Cat for a while, and we had similar like senses of humor. So we teamed up, and when I got here, it was like, okay, you're going to do this podcast, but you're also going to blog. And then everything kind of just grew from there, and there's not that much time for me to blog anymore. So now it's just me doing podcasts for the most part. But I do miss writing.
But you wrote fiction. So, or is the Goodell versus Obama? That's fiction.
Well, no, that actually happened.
What?
Obama and Goodell got into a fist fight. Yeah. No. It's fiction. It's the
Don't
most
do that to me.
fiction that's ever existed. I'd say like Star Wars is more realistic.
Yeah.
Goodell
Okay. So
versus
then,
Obama.
so what's the Ghost of Manhattan? Because to me, I'm thinking
Okay.
it has something to do with pilots.
Yeah. No. I'm all right. I've developed a recent obsession with flight simulators, and so I get in. They're very realistic flight simulators. Please don't call them games.
Okay. Sorry.
It's true.
I
fully agree.
I get into the cockpit of an F-16
Like with what? Like,
on my computer, but it's basically the same thing as flying it in real life.
but you don't have the 3D thing.
I
You're
don't
just
have
on your computer.
Not yet.
Okay.
So I'm in the process of expanding my at-home cockpit. And right
Okay.
now it just consists of a rudder and a joystick, and I also have like this clip-on attachment for my hat so I can move my head around and the camera moves. But eventually I'm going to get I'm going to have basically an airplane in my living room. at
Okay,
some
that's
point.
awesome.
But no, it's just been kind of a hobby that I like to do. And so I've learned how to fly an F-18, F-15, F-16, and an A-10. And what else can I fly?
But you learned that by not playing these games, by doing these simulators?
Correct.
Okay.
Not by playing the game, by doing the simulator. But I'm joking about it because there are a lot of people that actually think that they're equipped to fly like an F-16 because they've played enough of this flight simulator.
Uh-huh.
And while the flight simulator is very realistic, like it's obviously completely different, but I like to tell people like, yeah, if we get on an airplane, and this is the truth, I actually feel this way. If we're on like a 737 and the flight attendant gets on the speaker and he or she goes, you like that? That was very inclusive. He or she.
That was very inclusive.
They say,
that was very PC.
They say both pilots are incapacitated. Is there anybody on this plane that is able to fly it?
You would raise your hand?
I would not.
Oh.
I would wait for about 15 seconds. And then if nobody else said like, yeah, I'm a pilot, because that person would identify themselves. After 15 seconds, then I'm like, I'm pretty fucking good at DCS. Like, let me give it a shot. I've watched a lot of videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I think I could probably fly it. Landing it would be different, but I could definitely have a good time flying it around for a while.
Maybe if they were in your ear, you could land it. Have you ever wanted to learn to fly a real plane?
I'm deathly afraid of heights.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So no, I know. I realize it's a ridiculous hobby that I've picked up.
Yeah.
But I'm obsessed with it now.
Well, that's fun. I saw you shot an orphanage down. I watched that. I was trying to figure that out.
Those
That's right.
Orphans worked in a uranium enrichment plant, and they had it coming. There were no angels.
So what's the Ghost of Manhattan? That's your name?
Yeah, I just gave myself that call sign. You know how they call Tom Cruise Maverick?
Uh-huh.
I'm the Ghost of Manhattan.
But how'd you come up with that name?
Well, there was the Ghost of Kiev, the fighter pilot that they said was shooting down all these Russian pilots in the Ukraine-Russia war.
Mm-hmm.
And as an aviation expert myself, I immediately called bullshit on that. I was like, we haven't had an ace in like 50 years of what's the word I'm looking for? Aviation combat.
Mm-hmm.
There's no chance that this one guy shot down 5 Russian planes in a day, much less over the course of an entire war. That's just not how modern planes are built for. You know that. You're familiar with naval combat.
I am, and with war and all. Yeah.
And then Billy was like, yes, it's totally this Ukrainian dude that's like out there just being like low-key badass. I was like, Billy, you're a moron. There's no such thing as the Ghost of Kiev. And then everybody got mad at me online for like doubting this war hero story. And then it came out later, yeah, there's no such thing. It's just like all of them together are a conglomerate of one Ghost of Kiev.
Okay.
And then I started calling myself the Ghost of Manhattan.
So that's kind of recent.
Yeah. No, this only started, like I developed the crippling addiction, I think in March.
And you went all in.
All in.
All in.
Well, I still haven't bought the like full.
It's
cockpit for
expensive,
my
isn't
living
it?
room. This one person that teaches me how to do some of the stuff that I'm doing on there. His name's Billy Wah, and he has this living room set up that is really what I want. I'd imagine you probably paid like $12,000 all in on it, but you can get a full flight simulator in your home for a couple $100,000. So maybe next contract, that's what I'll work my way up for.
Yeah, maybe you could just ask for that as a what do you get at the end of the year? Bonus.
A bonus.
Bonus.
Yeah.
That's a good bonus. So do you read a lot of fiction?
Not as much as I used to. I used to read a lot of nonfiction. That's like more my speed. It's
it is?
Yeah.
But you like to write fiction, and everything that you do kind of makes me think that you would.
Well, so that book, Goodell versus Obama, it is fiction, but it's like based on actual people.
Uh-huh.
And I think most of what I read about is generally, it's kind of like if I took the entire sports world in my head, at least when I used to blog, this is how I would approach it. You take the entire league of the NFL and you turn them into like comic book characters in your own head, and then you just move them around like little pieces, and then you imagine interactions that they have with each other, and then you write about that. It was more like funny stuff, you know? So I guess that's kind of like blurring the lines between fiction and nonfiction a little bit.
Yeah.
But I used to just read a ton of nonfiction. That's always been my favorite. Like I read Into Thin Air a couple years ago.
Oh yeah, did you like
read
that? No, I haven't read it, but everyone wanted me to. I just don't think I could get into that.
It's really good. It made me cold when I was reading it.
It made you cold?
It did. Like straight up, I would like put on a sweater when I would read it. Because
really? Because it was that descriptive too.
It's that descriptive. And the entire book is just about like glaciers and ice and wind. And
yeah, I don't think I could get through it.
Yeah,
But was it really interesting?
Very good. Yeah, very good.
Well, I was going to ask you if you read any Hunter S. Thompson stuff, because I just assumed being a sports writer and having like a little bit of fiction, you may think that was funny.
Yeah. No, I've got a few of his books. I've got
Fear and Loathing. Did you read it?
I did read that. I read The Great Shark Hunt. Notes on the Death of Notes on the Death of the American Dream. So it's a lot of like compilations of his stuff.
Okay.
So I've read, obviously his stuff at the Kentucky Derby was.
I read.
It's awesome.
I think I read one of those, but I laughed my ass off out loud reading Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. The movie was terrible. It couldn't do any justice, but
yeah, I think trying to imitate
you can't.
Hunter S. Thompson is really tough to do.
Yeah, his writing. Yeah, you couldn't imitate his writing. And Johnny Depp did. I mean, I thought it was a good movie, but it wasn't funny like the book was funny. Yeah, that's good.
I actually, when I was on a vacation back in like 2015, I was reading one of his books, and I was like, you know what? He's pretty good at politics. I think maybe I'll try writing about politics. And then I came back. I started going on I was following around the Trump campaign and the O'Malley campaign on the Democratic side back in 2015, 2016. I went to all the debates and stuff.
Oh, you did?
And that was, it was fascinating. To
yeah,
see how,
I bet
like,
it
the whole
was.
process worked. That was like WWE on the road. All the Republican conventions back then. It was insane. It was just Trump like just making fun of people, like Rand Paul being like, please don't make fun of me. And Trump being like, oh, I won't make fun of you, but believe you me, there's a lot of material there that I could use. It was just an insane time to be writing about politics. But yeah, he was a big influence on me for sure.
Okay, so can anyone go to those?
No, you have to get credentialed.
Oh, okay.
I think I lied. I think I did a lot of lying to get into these places because CNN, just recently, actually, I got an email saying like my credentials have been revoked for dishonesty or something like that.
Are you kidding?
I think somebody went back and reviewed a blog that I wrote like 5 years ago and was like, look, he lied to get into this place.
Oh, because you wrote about it.
Yeah, well, I probably told them I worked for a place that I didn't actually work for. And so they notified me. They're like, this is very dishonest. We're going to revoke your...
I think people that work at Barstool should be able to get credentials to do that. Why wouldn't they be able to?
I agree.
Yeah.
100% freedom of the press.
Right. So who's going to do that?
Maybe I will. I don't know. I kind of miss writing about politics. Yeah, it was fun.
I'd like to have your take on politics. It gets really old seeing just the mainstream stuff.
Yeah.
Everyone probably would.
I think...
the next election's going to be good. Probably.
Will it?
No, I don't know. It's either going to be terrible or good, but just got a different spin on it will make it better.
Let's do Trump versus Biden again. That was a lot of fun last time.
No, it was terrible, but you would make it more fun.
Yeah. I think I went down to Miami in 2020 to do something with the Democratic debates down there. But yeah, that was the last time I did anything for it. But yeah, I'd be down to get back in.
Yeah. Okay, so you went to Hong Kong. Did you like it?
I don't really remember.
I mean, seriously, no. But when you first flew in and did all that, what was it like? Like, I've never been there, but...
I think the way that I described it... excuse me. The way I described it in the blog is it's like if the East Village was on the aggro crag. And if there was a show back in the day called Guts on TV. Did you ever watch Guts?
Guts? No.
Alex wasn't into Guts. Do you have it? Guts, Guts, Guts.
No.
No? Okay.
It's a shame.
Yeah, it's a real shame.
It's on Alex, too. But.
Great show.
Maybe my son watched it, but I don't remember it.
Oh, he definitely did.
He did? Okay.
Did, yeah.
Excuse me.
Guts, Guts, Guts?
Yeah, so it was like a giant mountain in the East Village is what I was getting at. And
a giant mountain in the East Village.
If you put a giant rocky mountain
in the East Village,
okay. That's kind of like what Hong Kong's like. A lot of bars. It was a good time. And then I took Molly. You've done a bunch of Molly. Like, I'm not telling you any stories you don't already know.
Yeah, no, I was going to ask you about that too.
Yeah, have you ever done Molly?
Well, okay, when I was young, Molly was like speed.
Oh, okay.
Like, I think, or maybe it was called Black Molly.
Wow, you sure know a lot about speed.
No, I only know because I'm the youngest of three girls, and my older sister, which is probably loving me for saying this, she would talk about Black Molly in the car, and I'd be like, "What is this code word they're talking about?" So I, there was no internet to go search it on. I had to ask a lot of questions.
Okay, yeah. No, Molly that was a one-time thing.
That really?
I don't think I'm going to do that again.
Okay, but wait. Well, that's why I wanted to ask you. I thought you did MDMA.
Yeah, it's Molly.
That is a Molly.
That is a Molly.
But according to Pat, Molly is ecstasy.
Yeah, it's the same thing. So
is ecstasy
MDMA is the active ingredient in ecstasy.
Okay.
So it's like, I don't really know the difference.
Oh, but MDA, okay, Pat said MDMA maybe is better.
Yeah, because I think it
has extra stuff.
Yes, it sometimes does.
But
I don't know these things. Like when I say I'm not a drug guy.
You're not a drug guy?
I'm actually not a drug guy.
Okay.
I smoke weed sometimes. That's the only time that I've done Molly. Probably the only time that I'll ever do it.
I do remember talking to my son when he first went to school. So he's 32, and I said, talking about marijuana and all that, I said, it's probably everywhere. And he's like, Mom, if you ask a guy if he did drugs, and he smoked pot, he would say he didn't do drugs. It's like smoking cigarettes nowadays.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay, so you like to make people laugh. Like
True.
you have humor on everything, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a fair way to say it.
And so do you carry that over with your family?
Yeah, I've always been like, I think I told my mom when I was like 3 years old, I put my pajamas on inside out. She always tells this story to people. She's like, why are you doing that? And I was like, because I like to make people laugh. And so she's like, every time I meet somebody new, she'll always tell them that story. That's just me being goofy, you know, like put my clothes on inside out.
Was that her like as you got older and you were trying to do funny things, saying he's just trying to make you laugh?
Yeah, like I'll write something that's like wildly inappropriate.
Yeah.
And my mom will read it somehow and she'll be like, oh, that's just Eric turning his pajamas inside out again. So
that's cute.
Yep. Yeah, it's always been like my thing.
Yeah.
Like class clown type stuff.
But I mean, no, like when you're with your really close people, like your mom, your dad, your family, like that, do you kind of keep that? Because it's like a way of life. Like that to me seems like you would always get a good spin on the bad things in life and make it better.
Yeah, I joke around a lot. But sometimes if I've been doing like a lot of podcasting and talking a lot, I just like to turn it all off.
Yeah.
And just like sit down, shut up, watch TV, and listen for a while to somebody else.
So with that, when you leave work, do you kind of go home and just chill?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
I know I used to go out to bars and stuff, and like right when I moved to New York, I was much more active in the nightlife. Mm-hmm. And now it's just like, okay, I would rather just stay in on a weekend. I think I'm just getting old.
No, you're not getting old, but you're probably, I mean, when you're here, it seems like it's a lot of brain. You just probably do need to shut it off.
Yeah, and our hours are so weird now that
it's
just if I go out, then I'm just going to be hungover the next day, and that's going to
affect everything.
Hangovers are bad once you turn like 35. Hangovers get real bad.
They do kind of affect your brain a little bit. You can't think as quick.
Yep.
You feel like shit.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So do you just want to I'm going to ask you to call your mom and tell her you love her?
I can try to call my mom.
Okay.
We'll see if she's around. Old mama.
Oh, mama. So how often do you talk to mama?
A couple times a week.
That's good.
Is that a good enough amount?
Yeah, that's good.
How often should I be talking to my mom?
I think a couple of times a week is great.
Okay.
Does she call you or do you call her?
Both.
Both?
She's probably going to call me by my childhood nickname.
Which is?
Well, let's see
well, here she says it. Okay.
I'm not going to tell you unless she says it. She's ducking me.
At least she didn't send you to voicemail.
She did call me Twiddle. Hey, Mom, I'm just on a podcast right now with Kim. She's a mom that's in this office that works for Barstool. And I'm finishing up the podcast right now. And the last thing she wanted me to do was to call my mom and tell her that I love her. So I love you.
I love you too, Bobby.
Okay. Love you, Mom. We'll talk later. Bye.
Twiddle. How'd you get Twiddle?
Because when I was younger, she said that I used to look like the Twiddle bugs on Sesame Street because I had big eyes. It's really kind of an insult, but it became kind of a cute thing, I guess.
That's cute. I can't. But you don't even have like big eyes now, so that's interesting.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, they shrunk. What can I say? Yeah, those guys. I don't look anything like those guys.
No, you don't. You must have had a big personality even when you were little for her to think
I'm seeing where the sunglasses are coming from.
Yeah, I was a pain in the ass when I was a kid, apparently.
Okay, well, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Fabulous, Mother.
That was fun. I learned a lot.
I bet you did learn a lot.
I did.
I enjoyed listening to that.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy. He's so down to earth and fun to talk to.
I was going to say, he's cool because he's smart, funny, driven. He can see big picture. I mean, he's obviously, that's why he is where he's at.
Yes. I like the story when someone goes the route that he went. I mean, from salesman all the way to this, and then this is like their love.
Totally. They keep doing what they love. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys for listening. If you're new here because of PFT, you're listening to the Mother-Daughter Show. Follow Mother Knows Best on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and follow at Content Kim with a K.
And then watch on YouTube.
And always watch on YouTube, which they probably did watch on YouTube because you had the sunglasses on.
True.
We love you guys. Have a great week.
And we'll see you next week.
See you next week.